what a lot of people don't realize as well is the amount of work that you actually have to put in. And I know that loads of people like always message me saying like, you work too much, you work too hard, but
Mhm.
I can't actually describe my work because I just actually genuinely enjoy it.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode in the Young Hustlers podcast. Thank you so much, guys, for your support and consistent love. All right. So today we have a special guest on our podcast. As you guys know, we always try to interview the best and the most successful people in the industry, so you guys can get the most nuggets of the people that we have. So, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Let's do it. So I am James Vogle. So I'm from England. I've got 4 companies now, and I've been within business, to be honest, from like the age of 13. So I was really excited when you invited me on, mate, because I've never really connected with many people that are kind of similar. So it's really
Mindset.
cool to to come on and actually share my story.
Amazing. I love that. Like one thing that I really love about even the podcast and all, I love connecting with people. As you said, like your network is your network, right? The more people
Yeah.
you network with, like the more opportunities that open up, and it's crazy the amount of stuff that happens when you just like meet new people. So I'm really glad to have you on the podcast. I'm so excited for you to share what you have for us today. So like to start off with your companies, like where did you get started? Like where have like the first thing that triggered you to start entrepreneurship or like try to be a business person in general? Because I think so many people have like different triggers to start. Like for me, I had like my story from going back home and coming back here, wanting to provide for my family, so on, so on. So kind of triggered me to kind of get out of the school system. I want to be an entrepreneur and provide in my own way. So like, tell me like what triggered you to get into entrepreneurship? What got you to like start your own business?
Yeah. So I've always been, I think, obsessed with growth and being able to be the best. So, like I come from like, I've not got anything from my parents ever. Yes, they've supported me, but I've never, I had friends in my school that would get given cars from their mum and dad and stuff. I had like a sort of given down to me Renault Clio. Like I've always, as such, like when you class yourself as like kind of self-made, like
Yeah.
I've always really taken that as my pride. So when I was like 12, I think I was like 11 or 12, I got my Christmas money and I went on to Gumtree. Because to be fair, mate, from 10, I was always like looking at like business and reading about
Yeah.
business. I was honestly obsessed. Because I think I looked up at the figures and I was like, I really want to like be there one day.
Yeah.
And I remember get my Christmas money. I think I had £200 cash, and I went on to Gumtree and I just typed in like Fred Perry polo shirts. And I remember like find this contact in Birmingham. They are they were actually real, believe it or
Okay.
not. And I brought 15 Fred Perry polo shirts for £200 cash, and I sold them at school out of my backpack for double the profit. And I
Amazing.
turned my Christmas money, £200 cash, into, I think it was like about £1,000 cash. And that was that. I then got into fitness. And I started doing some online coaching on the side. I then started a gymwear company. And actually, to be honest with you, I was 16, probably shouldn't have done it, but I just wanted to try it. So I just did it,
Yeah.
got some clothing, sourced some suppliers, XYZ, did that, sold probably about 100 t-shirts, but just didn't really have any clear direction with it. Then I was in my last year of sixth form, and I kind of, well, I say kind of, I started a cocktail bar with a friend in my local town.
Okay.
Now, the issue with that was obviously I was at sixth form and I was getting really good grades. And then I started this cocktail bar in my local town. So I actually remember now, like my teachers were getting super frustrated with me because I was like just basically
Skipping
bunking off
school
sixth
and
form in
just
the
messing around
afternoons.
and stuff.
I was just bunking off for sixth form, going down the town because it's about a 10-minute walk from my school, and just like going to work on the bar and like meeting orders and stuff. And it created a bit of friction at sixth form, but I got there. And it
Okay.
was actually quite funny because that summer, all the teachers kept on drinking down the bar. So it was quite fun in the end. And then what happened was I got to that stage and I was like, obviously built this really good cocktail bar. We had a few events. It was doing really well. I was 18 at the time. But I couldn't really see it going anywhere. Like I was kind of like, I've got a cocktail bar in my own town. Is it going to be a long term? Can I see myself doing this in like 20 years? Probably not. So I literally within 2 days sold my share of the cocktail bar and then went to uni within two
Wow.
days. And I went to uni to do sports science and
Is it
PE.
is it something that we were like, no, this is not like, it's not really my passion or something. I just did it for money. Because what I've seen as well is everybody that tried to like start their own business. I found a pattern that everyone's tried to like start their own clothing brand.
Yeah,
I think it's like a trend.
it's
I don't know
really.
what it is,
I know.
because
I know what
even
you
me,
mean.
funny
I know
enough,
what you
even
mean.
me, I tried to start a clothing brand when I was 16,
Yeah,
right? I went on
yeah.
Shopify, watched a couple of videos on YouTube how to start up a store, right?
Literally,
And then you build up a store, and you're like, okay, how am I going to get sales now?
literally, literally.
Right?
And
And
then,
it's
yeah,
crazy. I continue, sorry.
and then you like share it to your Facebook, and all your friends buy it. But then you're like, actually, I've got no one else buying
No,
it.
no, that's buying it, and it's crazy. Then you're like, figure out what's going on. I think that was one thing that triggered me to kind of find out about marketing as well. Like, how can I get people to buy this from my store? Because I create a store. What I'm gonna do now, and I think
Yeah,
everybody just, especially when you're young, coming up to 16, 17, everyone's like, oh, clothing brand, clothing brand. And I think that comes back to your story as well. Everyone's started clothing brand because it's like a trend thing.
every single person. I think I was at the first ever body powder gym shot I went to as well.
Oh yeah,
And I think like I just saw their stand and I was like, right, yeah, this is it. I'm gonna hit it, and it just flopped. But basically, but also again, like I think you always learn lessons. So
you
for
learn
example, even that
everything.
lesson, even when I did the flipping the old Fred Perry polo shirts, I
Yeah,
learned lessons from that. In terms of trusted suppliers,
yeah.
selling. I then with a cocktail bar, I think for me the biggest thing, like I said there, for
Mm-hmm.
me was I just it was great, but again, I'm always thinking like, how can this be in 3 or 5 years' time?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it just wasn't extremely scalable,
Okay.
and I hate ceilings. I hate, for example, that cocktail bar, we can only have a certain amount of staff, a certain
Yeah.
amount of people in that bar capacity. So if you've got, I think our capacity was 150 people.
Okay.
So if
So
you've got
you see
150
that amount
people
of
in
money that
there,
you're capped on.
literally, because our venue was a decent size, but it was restricted. So I don't know, just like for me, and also looking at how people make their money. To me, I was like, can I get super super rich or where I want to be income wise and wealthy from this cocktail bar? Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
And
You
then
could if you did like multiple franchises,
I
but
could, yeah. But then deep down, did I enjoy it? Probably not. Hence why I
yeah,
was like, no, like in the day, mate, I was all week, down there just drinking, and I was just like, I'm literally 16, well, I was 17, 18.
yeah,
Is this really going to be a long term? I'm just going to
yeah,
probably end
something I
up
want to
with,
do in the future.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I went to uni. I was a PT on the side anyway, so I qualified as a PT when I was 16. So I was always doing PT along the side. Started online coaching at university. It just blew up online coaching to the point where really, I went into my third year, probably earning about 5K a month anyway. So
Wow,
I was
amazing.
earning, you know
Okay,
what I mean? So to me, like all my mates were like doing PGCEs and stuff, and I was just like, I'm just going to carry on what I'm doing.
yeah, you
So
still
to
get
me,
money.
yeah, like uni was great, but actually uni was great for me because I think it passed time. Like, I think it allowed me that freedom. And I think why I chose uni was because I didn't actually know what I wanted to do yet. But I knew that if I went to uni, I would have time. But to everyone else, because I was at uni, I wouldn't just be like, oh, James hasn't got a job, But I'm
Yeah,
like, yeah, but I'm fine. I'm finding what I want to do. I went to uni and basically used uni as a time for me to just learn and grow as a
yeah,
businessman.
amazing.
Hence why, took my online coaching to really good numbers at uni, left uni, and then obviously went straight into the online coaching space, built, over
Is that
six
actually what
figures.
is that actually what you study in uni? Is sports and nutrition?
So yeah, so I studied like sports science and PE.
Okay.
So originally I thought I actually wanted to be a PE teacher, but no, no
Okay.
chance. Because again, like you're doing like all these hours, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's
You're still an
paid
employee. Like
peanuts.
you still
Yeah,
have a certain amount of hours. You still have to be someone's boss and earn. You're gonna only earn a certain amount. I get what I mean.
yeah, yeah. I was just pretty. Yes, I went to uni because I knew that the sports science aspect would help sort of develop my knowledge
Yeah,
within my business. And then as a result of that, obviously, after my third year, I then built the business. So rather than me being the coach, I built team members and staff. We rebranded. So I now run that on the side as well. But I really got interested and obsessed with marketing and teams and automations and everything like that.
yeah.
So from that, um, I teamed up with one of my good friends, Elliot Wise. So We have limitless mentoring now, so we help online coaches basically grow and
Okay.
scale and systemize. So that's going extremely well.
Mhm.
Um, Obviously, as a result of that, we're now going into the outsourcing industry, which is the other aspect. And then I've also just completed on my first two properties on my portfolio for buy to lets.
Amazing.
So
You're as well into property
yeah,
as well.
yes, mate,
Love
always, always. So yeah, so I've set up a limited company now, which I want to. My portfolio target for the end of the year is like six buy to lets. So that's my
it.
target.
Amazing.
Um,
You guys in
yeah,
the UK are very lucky as well with your property, because in Ireland here the rules when it comes to like even this type of stuff is it's very cruel. Like even the prices in Ireland is inflated. Like getting into the property industry, especially in Ireland, is so hard. But you guys in the UK, you can do no what lease option agreements, no problem at all. Rent to rent
yeah,
is very easy to do. Prices on what you call it on houses is not too bad. It's still high, but
yeah,
it's reasonable compared to Ireland here, which is
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. And that's the thing. I just think, and also it's just making sure that you're smart because like for me, like I've always said, I want to have a passive income that, like, say if I just went like, oh, I don't want to work this month, I
Okay.
wouldn't have to. I could,
Yeah.
I've got property coming in. That's the kind of security that I want. Um, but this year as well, like I just want to basically, like, I've always had this motto of me basically trying to not retire. Cause I'll never retire, mate. I love work
Love
too much.
working. Yeah.
I like literally. I think I'd go crazy. But when I'm at 30, I want to be, be in a position where like I'm actually in a
I don't
really
need to
really good
work anymore.
place. Exactly. Exactly.
That's actually the dream. Just like have passive income streams that are like, listen, I worked in my
Yeah.
20s, now I can chill in my 30s.
And that's what I want to do. Yeah.
Amazing. I love that. And coming back, actually, I know you talked a bit about systems and automation and marketing, about even your business right now. And I think I even noticed you, like even recently, you've been like launching so many businesses recently that's kind of scaling up. Because I think
Yeah.
that it takes kind of, I think what a lot of people as well, when they see people online and stuff like that, like posting their successes and stuff like that, they're kind of like, oh wow, why can't I be like this guy? But they don't understand the hard work and graft behind it. Maybe there's like years that came in behind that before that like instant pop up. So would you like to talk about that? Because I've seen you obviously do amazing stuff in the last just the last while recently, and you're like
Yeah.
exploding. And fair play to you, right? But can you talk to us on the process that even got you there? Because I really believe there's a lot of work that got into before you start like getting on a roll. Because I really believe in volume, in compound effect. Obviously,
Yeah.
when you're starting off, it probably the compound effect of consistency is not that high. But once you get to higher levels, the compound effect is gonna keep getting growing to become more successful.
Massively. And I think it's the biggest thing for me is obviously lessons. So actually just doing something and being prepared for it to fail. And then when it fails, just admitting that something might have gone wrong. It wasn't, and basically when you next do something, just take that lesson and apply it. That's what I've done. For example, the clothing company, what went wrong there, I know. And then now, that cocktail bar, I then used the mistakes from that. And then the cocktail bar made mistakes, used it with the next company. Um, which is similar to like the compound effect because I'm just constantly moving and applying, moving and applying.
Fine, yeah.
Um, and then what a lot of people don't realize as well is the amount of work that you actually have to put in. And I know that loads of people like always message me saying like, you work too much, you work too hard, but
Mhm.
I can't actually describe my work because I just actually genuinely enjoy it. Like, I get up at 4 a.m. every single day, and I probably don't leave the office until 8 p.m. every single day. And I'm in the office at 5. So wake up at 4, in the office at 5, and I'll leave at like 7 or 8 p.m. And I'll come back and I'll still be on my WhatsApp.
Crazy.
I work all day and I probably eat my meals at my desk, but I absolutely love it. I wouldn't change it for the world. And I think, yeah, yes, work ethic will get you to some places, and sometimes I probably could work smarter, but I genuinely do think you have to
Graft.
just absolutely plow everything into it. Energy, you have to get rid of
Sacrifice people.
distractions.
Yeah.
You do, mate. To some extent, you do have to be selfish, and I'll admit that. I am
100%. I'll tell you that for a
I'm a
fact.
selfish person,
Yeah.
but it's because in my head, it's what I know I have to do it to get to where I want to be.
100%. 100%. Because what I really believe as well, because if you don't cut off certain people that are going to be putting you down, They're going to be people that be talking about your back later on. They'll be like, oh, this guy. Right?
About 3 years ago, I had this rule, and I set this rule up for myself.
Okay.
And I don't want to sound to anyone thinking, "Cool, he sounds like a," but if someone does not bring me any kind of value, I do not care.
I love it.
Like I will not entertain at all.
Yeah. If you don't have a conversation right now that like benefits you any type of way, don't waste my time.
Like someone has got to bring me value, and also energy. So if there are people, like last year I learned the hard way of energy and how people, I used to call them like battery drainers.
Yeah.
So I feel like every single person has a certain amount of energy, like a battery in their body, and there are some people in this world that are always on low, and they're constantly trying to drain other people's
Feed
batteries
on
and
other people's
energy to
batteries.
bring them up. Exactly. And cut them off straight away. Because it will not leave, it's a slippery road. And also probably the last year is just actually learning that there are people that are better than you at things. So why not get that person and invest? I always get this question, right? What should I invest? Stocks, crypto, this is that. Yes, it's great.
Especially the younger people.
Yeah. People don't actually invest in their own business first.
It's
like
crazy.
for example, yeah.
Well, one thing, right? That I've got from a multimillionaire that I got on a call with. I was on a webinar. He was saying the key to really to long-term financial wealth or freedom is first to invest your money into a business that will generate you cash flow. That cash flow is going to be your king. So you get that cash flow, you put it into property, real estate. That's going to build you your passive income, which then you can go ahead and invest into stocks, investments, and stuff more risky. And you can go ahead and build your financial freedom. And it's just so simple. Like the process is literally so simple. Yes, maybe 9 out of 10 businesses fail every 5 years, but that shows how many times you need to fail to learn and kind of progress your business, as you've said as well. You have to go through so many businesses to kind of fail until you came onto your real passion that you literally wake up at 4 and not go home until 8 because you don't mind doing it. Just your passion, you don't mind doing it all day, all night because that's your passion and you're gonna make money from it and that's your cash flow.
Yeah.
And now, as you said, you're investing in property as well. So you want to talk more about that and cash flow and stuff like that?
And that's the thing. So the last year, obviously, our new business has scaled ridiculously quick.
Okay.
Ridiculously quick. However, it would not have grown this quick without us building a team so quick.
Systems.
Literally, we've got onboarding automation. We've got Instagram set up with an assistant. We've got a sales assistant.
Amazing.
We've got a VA manager. We've got it all built so it runs.
Okay. And just to touch kind of go deep in systems right now, because I know there's a lot of people maybe starting off their businesses and stuff like that. How soon should someone actually get systems in place to kind of automate their business and launch it? Because as I think it's a famous saying that you're not a business, you don't have a business if you're working on it. I can't remember exactly the quote, exactly what it is, but you don't have a business until it's not feeding without you, something like that.
Yeah. So this is a conversation I had with someone yesterday, an influencer who has a lot of followers and is also leaving a lot of money on the table.
Okay.
Because they don't have the right systems in place, in the sense of, okay, take this. How many times when someone has a new business will they get an inquiry, they'll get an inquiry, and it'll get lost. They'll forget about the inquiry. Okay.
That's true.
And I saw that so many times. I see it so common with people. They don't actually have a follow-up process. So is there any automation that when a lead comes through, within 3 days, if they don't book in a call, what can you send them? Can you send them a follow-up email? 4 days later, can you provide them with some value with a free resource to then hook them in even more? Can you then offer them another call? No one, not many people do that.
It's crazy.
Most people, put a post out, think they need, people apply, they say book a call, they ignore them, and that's it.
Wow.
And that's, see you later.
That's it. And that's how the retention and conversion rate for them is gone out of the roof. They're leaving so much money on the table. They're not retargeting.
So much on the table. And like, for example, some coaches have different offers. So we found this coach in particular had, like a main offer.
Okay.
The person potentially wasn't buying that offer. Why not add them into an email drip if they can't afford your main offer that's targeted towards selling your lower offer? Doesn't have to be a straight sell,
Yeah.
but can you have like a 4, 5, 6 email sequence, and then within that you have a certain amount of call to actions that go, hey, actually, you know what, I've got this offer that's half the price, and it will still get you a really good result.
Yeah. I think that a lot of business owners or people even have business don't even understand a customer's funnel or a customer's journey. Like,
No.
it's crazy. It's like going out for a girl on the first date and you want to marry her straight away. It doesn't happen, right? Same thing with the customer funnel, like how we're nurturing. Now, I want to go deep into that right now because maybe there's a lot of people in the fitness industry, because I know like fitness industry is so saturated at the moment, and like so many people are doing fitness. And you're a person that focuses on teaches fitness coaches how to scale their business. So what's like some key points that you could put out right now for any fitness coach right now that's trying to scale their business in the fitness industry that they can actually implement to scale their business?
So
if you don't mind sharing, of course.
The two biggest ones. So number one biggest thing that we get is people come to us and they're trying to help every single person. You will not become a leader and trusted person in that field. For example, if you were a guy wanting to get into shape and you were following this guy and he was putting up loads of female content, a few bits of male content, wasn't really connecting with you on that level, versus you had a guy that was like, I help guys, that want to lose body fat, get muscle, X, Y, Z. And their content is like speaking to that individual. I know what one you'd pick.
Okay.
Same principle, right? If I was in a barber shop,
okay,
I was waiting and there was two barbers. One had really good haircut and was cutting someone's hair. The other barber had half his hair missing and it was like all over the place.
Yeah.
I would not choose that bar. If that barber turned around and said, "You're next," I'd go, "No, I'm waiting."
I'm waiting for the next guy, even if it's an hour.
Literally.
Yeah.
So it's the same principles on our coaching. Like, you have to be that guy that everyone wants to go to.
Wants to go to. That's
and
amazing.
you have to build trust and you have to build validation. And the second one, and it's probably actually quite applicable to multiple industries, and it's so simple when you think of it. So loads of service-based industries and companies, they have like an application process, and they think that they'll put a post out and someone will apply. Yes, that probably will happen eventually once you've got trust.
I've
once
seen
you've got
that a lot.
validation.
I've seen that a lot. A lot of fitness coaches do that. They just have a little form, and then they say, lads, go fill up the form. Give them a form. Not everybody has the courage to go ahead and fill out a form.
Exactly, and also not everyone knows whether coaching's for them. Not everyone knows that they've got a problem.
Yeah, make the customer a problem aware.
So same principle as you know, going into other businesses.
Yeah,
some businesses are so busy they don't know what problems they've got.
True.
So then you organise a meeting, and you then open up a massive can of worms of problems that they've got, and they were like, "Wow, I didn't even know this."
Yeah, wow.
Same principle, just by having a conversation with someone. And the reason why the fitness industry is so good for this analogy that we're about to use is, if I was a brand new PT starting at a pure gym, if I wanted to get clients, I would go and talk to every single person in that gym to build relationships, to build trust.
Build trust.
Yeah. Now, on Instagram, people don't do that.
Yeah, they just go for the sales straight away.
Yeah, they either go for the sales straight away, or they don't even create conversation.
Wow. Okay.
So they just post, and expect, for example, and this is exactly relatable, a PT buying a brand new diary on their day one, standing in the gym and just waiting for people to flood and say, let me book a session. Same principle as an online coach. We get so many coaches come to us saying, "Oh, I launched," and like nothing's really happened.
Yeah.
It's because you haven't been proactive in creating conversation.
You haven't interacted with the customer. You haven't engaged with him to kind of make you know, like, and trust you. And that's the key things to sales.
Exactly.
That's amazing. So if any person that's listening to this right now, I hope everyone's taking notes. It's giving free value. All right. So let's go back in time, right? We talked about
Yeah.
some key points in the fitness and stuff like that. Now, 2020, COVID-19, right?
Yes.
Now, this is, for me, personally, as a massive shift. Massive shift. I believe this COVID thing was more of a blessing than just like something that like
Yeah.
went down the drain. People like suffered from it. I think it either built you and turned into the person that you should be, or it just like put you down for like it just made you like broke you down, right? Like I learned so many lessons, like develop certain habits, like start seeing your life a certain way, reflected in certain things, and maybe you can relate to me as well in that point, even in like in self development and business wise as well, because it's a big turn. Because all the local brick and mortar businesses were just getting destroyed because they're all locked down, but then all the online businesses were thriving, and people are making like millionaires have been like, popping out left and right and center out of nowhere, right? Because all the money has been shifted to the online space. So do you want to talk to me, how did like COVID-19 and last year or 2020 really affect you in business wise and your mentality, and what lessons have you learned in that going forward in your journey?
Yeah. So if I'm honest,
Mm-hmm.
COVID, and I don't want to sound again like, someone here, but COVID was probably one of the best things that could have happened to
I
my
agree.
business and my life.
I
Simple as
agree.
that.
I agree. I agree.
It gave me more time to work on things. Everyone saw a massive shift in everything. The whole world shifted
Yeah.
from buying a product from service-based industry.
Yeah.
The people that didn't panic did well. And for example, I remember it being announced, and rather than being on Instagram, like, feeling sorry for myself like every other person was being,
Yeah.
I was like, right, I'm gonna go ghost and just analyze what's happening here. So I was like, right, who's my ideal consumer? What are they going to be feeling right now?
Mm-hmm.
What are they going to be doing right now? What problems are going to have?
Point is, yeah, point.
I then created a free Facebook group, and I added every single person in my local area from a local Facebook group into it, and said, I'm going to be providing free workouts, free nutrition tips, X, Y, Z. I had about 260 members in that, and I then became that go-to guy that was given them positive, because in the end of the day, it was a very negative situation.
Okay.
I was then providing positivity, and positivity, as you know, would attract. So initially I did like 3 or 4 weeks of graft where, mate, admittedly it was a pain, because I was like going out, filming workouts every single day, like doing exercises. I was doing burpees, and I'm a bodybuilder. So,
like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
it goes against your ethics.
I was like a bodybuilder trying to cater for Gen Pop. But it worked. And then from that, I then managed to upsell them into a 6-week challenge. And then throughout that whole period, they were then paying me every single 6 weeks, and I built a community.
Okay.
And then I think community was massive within lockdown, because there are so many people feeling lost, and so many people had loads of negative people around them.
Exactly.
So generally what people would do is they'd go, right, I need to be a part of that group because that group are killing it, and I need that right now. I need to be a part of it. I need to be involved in it.
I need to do that, yeah.
Exactly. So to me, that developed that. I obviously have more time to learn. And I think where I was proactive, and also obviously where we were active helping other PTs transition their business, end of the day, we were in a blessed way, because people can have access to gyms, but people were still getting paid. Yes, I know furlough, was furlough, but it's still 80%.
Yeah,
it's still 80%, and people were people weren't going on holidays, they weren't eating out.
Yeah,
so
exactly. There's a lot of money there, and like to be spent, and people love spending money, especially in the normal consumer mindset.
Yeah, so many people have more money. Like, I know people say that yes, COVID's ruining the economy, but really, service-based people went through the roof.
Crazy.
And if people were out of money, how comes e-commerce has scaled ridiculous? Round here, I can't even get the commercial unit because they're all being used just for storage, because people have got e-commerce selling products.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Service-based industries went through the roof. Like, to
Amazon
me,
itself, Amazon
yeah,
like
yeah,
Amazon went crazy with like market cap wise when it comes to it. It shows that how many people were just using Amazon to buy stuff because they're just
yeah,
bored.
yeah. I really enjoyed COVID, basically.
Oh yeah, I did it.
I really
Like
enjoyed it.
it did have its dark times. Don't get me wrong, it had
Oh,
its dark times.
100%.
Yeah, in the start, but like as I said, either broke you or made you do the person you are because it made you like kind of realize. It kind of like I think it put freeze on time, put a pause.
Yeah,
More people's like, oh
yeah,
damn, I need to spend more time with my family. Damn, what's
yeah,
going on here? Self development.
yeah,
Okay, wow, I need to read more books. Now maybe I need to take care of myself, fitness
yeah,
wise, stuff like that. So like all these kind of stuff. People even like, oh wow, I lost my job. I don't have a job. I'm literally one income away from being broke. That's a famous saying from Bill Gates. You're literally one income. If you're one income stream away from being broke, you gotta find multiple streams of income to try. Like even if you lose one, you have multiple. And I think that's a bit key thing. That a lot of people like using COVID. They tried to like. I seen a load of people hopping on to crypto, forex,
Oh,
starting like.
mate, so many people just upload onto Instagram stories. Oh, just selling forex. I was just like,
It's crazy, right? It's crazy. People that do stocks.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
all I did
ridiculous.
was, yeah, I remember now, I sat down at the start of lockdown and I was like, tactically, what's going to happen here? I said, people are going to start buying alcohol,
Yeah.
people are going to be bored, and people are going to be wanting to buy sports clothing. So I bought shares in JD Sports, Stock Spirits Group
I love it.
PLC, and Games Workshop for board games.
How'd that go?
All three of them, because people were buying more alcohol,
Okay.
bang.
Up.
People were buying board games, bang. So yeah, that's what I did. But that was tactical decisions.
It was tactical, especially when the stocks like Zoom exploded because
Yeah,
like we're literally doing all this podcast on the Zoom right now. Like so much people have gone instead of doing meetings in person into Zoom.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
Zoom exploded. Anything that was online, anything that was kind of like innovative when it comes to like COVID and stuff like that, it blew up. And I think so many people.
I remember. Yeah, I remember the first week of no, like the first month of Zooms. Everyone was doing them quizzes on like a Saturday night.
Okay, yeah.
I used to do a quiz on a Saturday night for my friends, and I remember on the first. I think quizzes started to get popular, and I think the Sun did like a page on it saying like these are like the best Zoom quiz questions and stuff. I remember trying to log into Zoom and make the servers were done.
They were
I think so
destroyed.
many people were trying to go on Zoom to do quizzes. It was nuts.
It was crazy. Like that time, I remember it was just ridiculous. Like especially when I think about it, like right now, when it comes to I just blanked out. Like people like wanting to kind of adapt because if you couldn't adapt in COVID and kind of like transition
Yeah,
your business online, like especially if you're like if you, it's like you're a fitness coach, if you couldn't like transition from like being a personal trainer in the gym and start selling your plans online or doing something like through Zoom or something like that, you would have fell down to the ground and you wouldn't have picked up because I think it was a big time for a lot of people, which was amazing. But to kind of like before we sum things up, I want to kind of know your advice on what you think you people that are young because from like 16 to like even 25, even to 30, all right, from 16 to 30, I think it's the age when people, especially now, people kind of like entrepreneurship. It turns being cool. It's like a trend right now,
yeah, yeah.
right? Everyone has entrepreneurship in their bio. Okay, they could be selling it wherever it is. They're an entrepreneur, right? So like I want to really know your advice on it because obviously this podcast is really kind of like empower young people or people that are hustlers and to kind of learn from more people in the industry that have been successful and are kind of like hustle and not got things handed to them. All right. So what do you think is your main advice, or like you're going to be talking to any person right now that's just starting their business? They're just getting into whatever industry they're in at the moment. What's your advice to them when it comes to that?
My advice is, and I had this conversation with someone a couple of months back, is you will get told no, and you'll get told by people around you to not do it and play safe and get a job and do this and do that. And if you have the work ethic, and that's a big thing, you have to be able to put the work in. Building a business, yes, it's a lot like I think Instagram and having entrepreneur in your bio promotes this like amazing life that you can
Lifestyle
work on the
fake, yeah.
beach. if I'm honest, like I haven't even been to the beach yet. But I
See,
know.
guys, don't believe these social media things, man. People that post Lambos in Dubai and going to like renting an Airbnb and saying, "Yo, I've been successful, lads. Buy my course, the link in bio."
Yeah.
Like all that shit is fake. It's just crazy. It was funny enough. Even I was literally looking through a TikTok even recently. There's a guy that was promoting. He's like, he's in America. He's like, "Oh, I'm 20. I just moved out, and he's my house in the background with a pool." And then the owner of that Airbnb exposed them on TikTok, saying, "Yo, see that video right there? That's my Airbnb. Here's the keys. Don't believe anything." That was just the best thing that I've ever seen in a while, because people do that the whole time. Rentals, car rentals. Anybody can rent a Lambo for like a couple of hundred for the day. They can go around. They can go holidays in a nice house, in an apartment. Look, I'm living the dream, and they're just back in a 5-foot apartment or a shared room in college, right? Like anybody can fake it, because social media always shows you the good side. Nobody shares the failures, which is amazing. Well, sorry, if you want to continue what you're saying there.
That is the biggest thing. Like you have to work, and I think, you know, anyone can have a business idea, but you do have to put the hours in. You cannot build a business, you know, waking up and going in at 9 and shutting at 5 and shutting off and having weekends off. You can't. You have to build it up. You have to be prepared to put the work in. And like I said, you really have to be prepared to have people around you trying to pull you away from that idea and to stop you from doing it, and use that as fuel to make you want to do even better. Use it as fuel to prove that person wrong.
Amazing.
That's what I say. You know, when people say that won't work, I'm like, right, I'm going to do whatever I can to prove it to you that it will work. Whether that means I do another day at the weekend, whether it means I do more out, you know, I will make it work.
Crazy. Just kind of put in the work ethic, and just like pick something that's like you're passionate about and keep going at it.
Yeah. And like I said, just don't let anyone else tell you any different. Especially because they're the ones, and what I find is it's the ones that are jealous of the position that you might be in, or they're jealous of what you're doing because they're unhappy in their job.
Yeah, and I think that comes as well to the people that you hang around with. You are the product of the 5 people that you hang around with. I think, which is very important. I think you realize that as well early on.
Massively.
When it comes to people that you hang around with, because the people that you hang around with is very, very important. They're the mirror of your energy. Like it's just crazy. If you're hanging around with like 5 broke people are dope, they're not really just talking about other people, what's happening in the world, this and that negative. You're gonna become the like that type of person. But if you're hanging around with people that are talking about business success, what's going on, how can we improve self-development, businesses growing things, you're gonna be becoming like them. You're gonna become like the next person that's going to become a millionaire, which is amazing. Right? Is there any key points do you want to throw in before we wrap this podcast up?
Key points for me are,
even for you or anybody, or even in the fitness industry or stuff like that.
Yeah, for the fitness industry, like I said, and also just be prepared that, in fact, biggest one for me, this is what a lot of people struggle with, is emotional attachment to business. So, for example, if you lose a client, don't think that your whole business is going to fall down the drain. You have to be a strong person to be in business, because you will lose clients, you will lose contracts, but don't think, right, that's me, my service is rubbish, this is that. There are other reasons why people leave. If someone leaves because they can't afford you, don't think in your head that it's because I'm a crap coach, you know? Like, you have to be really emotionally strong, and you can't make decisions on your business and in your business based upon emotion, because they will not be good decisions.
Amazing, man. That's a massive piece of nugget. I love that so much. Yeah, so I think we're gonna wrap this podcast up. I really appreciate you hopping on this podcast. If anybody that wants to find you and maybe even get to know you and kind of connect you, where can people find you?
Yes, so Instagram, it's James Vogle, Vogle, because people always spell it wrong.
Yeah, we're gonna link it down below anyway and stuff like that. Yeah.
Good. And then I am on YouTube, and I've got lots coming. I'm gonna be documenting my buy-to-lets and the involvement of a new company, which would be cool. And yeah, Instagram, YouTube is where I hang out. And any other questions anybody has at all, my DMs are always open.
Amazing. You guys heard it. So with that being said, guys, we're going to wrap up this amazing podcast. Thank you so much, James, for hopping on. So with that being said, guys, please go ahead, show some love, and share it with who you think that will get some nuggets out of it. As we only do this to share some value and impact people's lives. So it'll mean a lot for you guys to share and show some love. So with that being said, guys, yeah, we'll talk to you after. See you in the next one.